Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome to In the Headlines, where we will shortly be discussing the central newspapers of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. And joining me here in the studio to discuss this is Talha Malik Sahib, who is an analyst for In the Headlines. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And Farooq Rahil Sahib, who is the assistant editor of Al-Fazl International. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us today. And of course, we're going to start off with the Al-Hakam newspaper. And in the headlines of the newspaper itself, we have the words the Pope, Taliban and Facebook. Seemingly they have no connection to each other whatsoever, but definitely Al-Hakam has managed to write something about it. What is going on here?
So obviously this week the Pope has visited the UAE for after a long time, as we know. So the Jamaat perspective on this will be covered, and after that the Al-Hakam newspaper has covered what actually is happening in Afghanistan right now with Taliban, and if it is, which is a breeding ground for terrorism, and how social media is also a breeding ground for terrorism, and from there we move on to Facebook and how the pros and cons of Facebook perhaps outweigh each other.
So we're talking about how Facebook is actually a tool in somehow radicalizing the youth as well, and we're going to be talking about that in Al-Fazl very shortly as well. But before that, Al-Hakam obviously has documented also the events that have occurred with regards to His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, over the last week. And he's actually had two audiences, one with the Lajna, the women of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and one with the French youth of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. So what exactly can we look forward to with regards to that?
So this week, Hazur has met the French Youth Auxiliary Organization, and Hazur actually, they asked a question and Hazur advised them how to serve Jamaat best, and he gave perhaps a sketch of how they can contribute to the Jamaat, and that's not just for the French Jamaat Youth Auxiliary Organization, but perhaps for someone in the whole, and for all the Jamaats throughout the world to emulate. And from then, the second mulaqat was with Lajna, and I think this is one of the most important articles this week in Al-Hakam, because someone asked Hazur about Brexit, so that actually covers Hazur's perspective on Brexit. Something
to look out for. I mean, of course, at the moment it's a hot topic, and Theresa May has actually just gone to Brussels as well to discuss that. So let's see if you want to watch out what's happened with regards to Brexit and Hazur's guidance with regards to that. Of course, Al-Hakam is the place to go. Farooq, we mentioned social media, and this week Al-Fazl has released something quite spectacular about social media, some direct guidance for parents and children as well. What exactly is that?
That's right. Nowadays, the irresponsible use of social media and excessive screen time is becoming a big problem, not only for health, but also for your own morality. So in this week's issue of Al-Fazl International, we have published an introduction to Hazur's book, May Allah be his helper, entitled Social Media, in which Hazur has given us advices about how we should use social media and how we can avoid the dark side of social media as well. And of course, Hazur advises us, it's very important to see that over the past years, Hazur very frequently advised us how we can avoid these dark side, which actually now are coming up in the media. So this is a very interesting introduction as well, and the book is a must-read for everyone who uses social media as well. So apart from that, Al-Fazl also has included this time the address to the Lajna Ijtima 2018. The address was in English, so this is the first time the Urdu translation of Hazur's Khitab is published as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the main key highlight theme is social media, how to use it, how to avoid the negatives and positives, and that is something to keep an eye out for today and in the future as well. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. For Al-Hakam, you can always visit alhakam.org, and for Al-Fazl, of course, you can visit alfazl.org to have a read of that on a weekly basis. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.